Here we are. Let's make it happen. As long as the sales energizer's here, let's go. Let's leave it all out on the field, Christina.
I already screwed up because I stopped the bumper, Dan.
Oh.
Oh,
Right,
anybody can. No, anybody can do this. A group, anybody can do this.
Okay.
So, everyone, I want to introduce you to. Well, first of all, welcome to the Saturday. I do this all the time, Dan. Can you hear me? Okay.
You know,
Saturday Night Live.
Women get nervous around me. It's a common thing. Don't worry about it. I'm used to it.
That's right, Dan. It's you. But I want to welcome everybody to Savvy Sales Lady Live. And I have my colleague, Dan Jordan, on. Now, Dan, you call yourself the Sales Energizer. I refer you to as the original Energizer Bunny.
Yes, that guy's been stealing my thunder for years.
Are you getting any royalty from him?
For the bunny guy? No. You know, I let him, he's pink, he's got a drum, let him do what he wants. It's okay. I rarely get confused. I mean, people rarely confuse me with that stuffed animal.
Well, let me ask you this. So, Dan, I call you the king of cold calling because we go way back, everyone. We go back to 2014 with Jeffrey Gitomer, and we were Gitomer certified advisors. Is that what we were called? I don't remember now.
Who knows? There's a warm place in my heart for Jeffrey, and so
yeah. So that's
I don't know what we were called.
That's how Dan and I know each other, is from being at the class for the certified advisors, and we were kind of in the back of the room, talking about different things during breaks. And Dan was a great support of mine when I was in the class, and I appreciated you for that, Dan, and because I needed it. Wow. And then I learned that you were the cold calling king. So that's really
the world's best. The world's best. I've never met my equal. You know, and the thing is, I love it. I talk about, an area, people think that they don't like the cold call because of, all the pressure. I'm like, there's zero pressure. I used to be a stockbroker back in 1,000 years ago when they used to call them brokers. You weren't a consultant, you were just a stockbroker. And I was pounding, the phone and doing this. And I must have called hundreds of thousands, 1 million dials. It doesn't matter. We're doing 300 dials a day, and just rocking and rolling. And not once, zero times have I ever been in the supermarket and someone looked at me and said, you're the guy, you're the bastard who went and ruined like, nobody knows who you are. There's literally no pressure. They hang up and they forget about you immediately. There's no loss, there's no downside, but the upside is you can make an absolute successful career in any business you're in simply by talking to more people. Best thing ever.
And that's a good. Oh, I heard that feedback again. All right, I'm backing up. Dan, that's a good point, because I have always said that if you can master cold calling, you can master any sales conversation there is to be made. Not only that, but you can use that cold calling skill as a conversational skill too. You don't have to be in sales. And I think that what cold calling forces you to do is to listen more. What is two maybe key points that you can give on cold calling, Dan?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. We'll boil it down to 2 points. I think what you said is absolutely accurate, that cold calling might not be the best way to get new business, but it's the best way to learn how to sell. It's the whole process, and it's really it's compressed into a couple of seconds. You have to have a headline, gain their attention. You have to have an interesting statement to find out if they're interested, and then you have to have kind of a closing question. You can go from here, and so it really helps you with the whole idea of sales. And for most people out there, the people who don't think they're in sales, most people I see, Kirsten Woodbury's here, and Kirsten may or may not be married, but a lot of people are married. But I mean, just think of that situation. Here it is, at one time, there's two complete strangers. You meet each other, and somebody, decides, to meet somebody, and you're going to ask them to forsake everybody else in the entire world and just stay with me for the rest of your life. And you don't think that's a sales proposition? All the things that you do to earn that type of commitment, you're selling the whole time. All the flowers that you buy, all the poems that you write, all the, late nights waking up thinking, what can I do to make this, a memorable moment? All those things, that's sales. And that person was a stranger once. And I think it's actually disheartening to think, for those people who don't walk up to other people. And basically, a cold call is something you could do on the phone. A lot of people think of it that way. But really, a cold call is just meeting a stranger in person. You're online at the supermarket and engaging somebody in that conversation. The skills that you learn on the phone, or even texting, or even with creative emails, those cold type of interactions can create just beautiful relationships. Marriage is just one of them. Business is just one of them. But it's just everyday life. I woke up this morning, and one of the things that I do, I say thank you. That's my first thing. I say thank you, not to anyone or anything, but when you say thank you, you just kind of have a spirit of gratefulness that goes throughout the day, because your brain will just search for, heck, what do I need to be thankful for? And then after that, it just came into my head. I thought, I wonder who I'm going to meet today that could change my life. When you do that, it's not that cold. When you think of it that way, you're meeting somebody new is not that cold. It's actually the beginning of something. And this is where this is where you're supposed to go back into the producer mode and get it right there.
Oh gosh, Wes is on, and he says, "Good afternoon, Christine and Dan. It's a cold calling Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Have a dynamite day." Do you know Wes Wyatt?
I don't know. If I don't remember you, Wes, I apologize. But I'm sure that I've been. I don't know if we've met or not. I don't know that completely. But here's something that I could show you. Trade with you right away. For those people, people hate cold calling because they hate getting cold calls, and it's uncomfortable, because most of the time you get a cold call, it's terrible. And the reason is this: somebody calls you on the phone and they'll say something like this. They'll say, "Hi," and they're a stranger. How you doing today? And you might think that you're saying, "How you doing today?" But the other person receiving it hears something different. They hear cold call. Get out of my face. Put up your defenses. They're putting a wall in between you. And so here's the thing, Christine. When you're making a cold call, rule number one, never say, "Hi, how are you doing today?" You say, "Hi, how are you doing today?" You screwed up from the first moment.
Yeah, I agree totally. I teach that you never say how are you either. First of all, they know you don't care how they are.
Yeah, so you're lying right off the bat. Nobody wants to deal with a liar. Yeah, so they're lying right off the bat. But I've learned what to replace it with. And I replaced it with the 7 magic words. And so if you get nothing else from this, take these 7 magic words. They're life changing. They work on it works on anything to get what you want. anything except your wife, but it works on everything else. So these 7 words are these. I wonder if you could help me. So instead of saying, hi, how are you? You say, hi, hey, I wonder if you can help me. And I promise you this, if you go into a department store right now and a salesperson walks up to you, what do they say? They say, hi, how can I help you? You're letting them do their job. Somebody answers the phone, they say, hi, how may I help you? You're letting them do this. So you just feed right into it. Because in this day and age of kind of like AI and fake stuff, the slightest thing that's off kilter, they're going to push you away. Nobody trusts anybody anymore. And so you say, hey, I wonder if you can help me. My name is, who would I need to speak with regarding X? It is a magic you never, ever get hung up on. People have a need to help. If you just stood in the middle of a street and screamed help, everybody would come to you. People will help. If you go to a Home Depot right now and ask for where are the wrenches, they'll say aisle 7. If you say, hey, I wonder if you can help me, where would I find the wrenches? It will grab you by the wrist and drag you over to the wrenches and wait there with you until you pick the perfect one out. People need help. Let them help you and they won't hang up on you.
Well, have you heard of the new cold calling intro called Tactical Tone?
Tactical tone. No, tone is very important, but no,
gosh.
please share it with me.
It's insane, Dan. So I am encouraging people never to do this.
Oh.
So what you're trying to do is, of course, you do an intro to try to disrupt them from what they're doing, but also to psychologically disrupt them from automatically hanging up because you're a cold call, right? So you've got like 3 to 4 seconds to grab their attention. So it goes like this. So you call, I'll be calling you, and I'll go, hey, Dan.
Hi, Christine. Oh, hi.
Well, you
oh, yeah, I don't know you. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Dan, I bet you never expected me to cold call you today, did you?
I hate you already.
I know. Now, the people that do this, that are making all these videos about it, and you've got to read the comments. They'll go, oh, dude, that's exactly what I've been looking for. Oh, I'm going to try this. And I'm going, yeah, you'll get hung up on. It's the most unprofessional opening I have ever heard in my life.
Yeah. My thing is I'm about total honesty. And I think, that's how I make it fun because, it harms on a deeper level. It harms your soul when you're trying to manipulate people and you're trying to coerce people and you're trying to trick people. It'll work. Sometimes it'll work. I mean, I was an old stockbroker. I actually said things like this. You said you wanted to pass. I would say, pass? Let me tell you something, Mr. Jones, about passing. The only people that earn money passing are NFL quarterbacks. And I don't see a number on your jersey. Now let's go ahead and pick up a couple thousand shares of this stock today, and we'll run through the end zone together. Okay? I mean, that stuff actually worked to get a customer sometimes, but you never get clients because you're manipulating people, and you can't bring yourself to do that if you're a decent person for a long enough time. So I go for complete and utter honesty. Excuse me, is this a cold call? Yes, this is a cold call. This is as cold as it gets. It's freezing cold. Can I get 10 seconds of your time? And I just want to, just like that. And I actually changed my tone with that too. I laugh, on cue, to make it, to make it more palatable for someone to answer the phone. You play those type of games, but really, if someone picks up the phone, there's no reason for you not to be able to get your pitch out. That doesn't mean you're going to sell them. The purpose of a cold call is not to make a sale. It's to discover whether or not there's interest. I want you to think of a cold call like a billboard. So, you're driving down the highway, you see a big billboard there for a Subway sandwich, or, a tuna fish sandwich for $5.99, but it's, it's 8:15 in the morning. You don't want a tuna fish sandwich. It's not like the people in the subway are like on their knees, like, oh, we just lost another one. Look at all, you just don't want it then. And so if you call someone on the phone and like, no, it's okay, thank you very much, you move on. But if your offer is interesting enough and you just want to find out whether or not there's a reason to move on, it's a very common thing to happen in everyday life, and it shouldn't be uncomfortable for anybody.
I agree with you 100%. When I cold call for small businesses, and for my own business, the initial reason for calling is to set an appointment. It isn't, and to see if there, we're a fit, but it's to make the appointment to go further into seeing if everything matches up. It's a go, answer questions, the whole sales process. Too many times sales professionals are trying to sell over the phone when all they should be doing is setting an appointment or qualifying prospects.
That's absolutely right. One of those, did you have a question? I'm sorry.
I did.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Then because that leads me into what you're doing, calling no rejection prospecting. So I'd like to pull that up on the screen. And Dan, while I do that, would you talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, that's cool.
Now, can you see it right now?
Yes, you're a pro.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, so the big reason that people tell me that they don't reach out to new people or what have you is they're afraid of, not afraid of rejection. It's just people tend, because most people you meet are human. I mean, unless you're dealing with lawyers, most people are human, and they try to avoid rejection. And so with the new technology that they had, I put together this program, how to do it. And basically, what if you could do cold calling, but with video, and you can give your pitch. If they're interested in it, they move on. If they don't, they don't. But it's a great way to reach out to people with video, and just go from there. And we can coach them through the whole thing. And so it's an excellent program there. But step one, for nothing, is there's another link I gave you for that other one. But step one is you could do it as easily as just get your phone out, and instead of if you have their cell phone number, obviously, if somehow you can get that thing, send a little video message to them. Oh my gosh, the response rate is 1,000%. Doesn't work all that well, so there are some other programs. I use something called QuickPage. Can offer some program here, and so I think there's if you go to that website there's some 30 days off or 30 days free or whatever it is. But Vidyard's a great one, and there's several others out there. Thing is, you just got to use them. But I'm seeing like 70% open rates and like amazing response rates, like 30%. So it's really good because they're able to watch your pitch when they're ready to receive it, not when you're calling it. So it's a great way to do it, and it happens while you're asleep, and you don't have to, worry about being turned down. Which is men are used to getting rejected. It's tougher for women.
Well, I will admit I don't get rejected that much.
Yeah,
I do every once in a while.
That's right.
So I love video texting because
video texting is awesome.
Yeah, I do that too. I'll send a video. If the prospect has given me their cell phone number, I will send them a video text. My realtor is the one that really got me involved in doing this. I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, and he always, even at Christmas time, he'll send me a video with his kids all dressed up in their cute little outfits for Christmas. Yeah. And he'll just send it to me, Merry Christmas. And it's this cutest little video about,
and you look forward to it.
Yeah,
You look forward to it, and it gets a response. If like somebody ghosts you or something like that, you send them a video. They can't not. You know, if they do, then he's gone. Then they're gone. See you later. But that's what I've been using that for this year, and it's really been tremendous.
So that's on danjordanvideo.com, and I've got it scrolling at the bottom for everyone to look at Dan's site. But I'm also very intrigued on that no rejection prospecting as well. So anything else you want to add to either one of those, Dan?
Yeah, on both of those sites there that you can do that, there are, there's a way to contact me. I'm very accessible. You can set up a time with me and we can talk and I can help you through anything. I have yet to have an uncomfortable or an unproductive conversation. And so you never should be the least bit cautious about setting something up with me.
Okay, and I'll make sure I have those links in the description area underneath the video, especially on YouTube, so that you guys can have access to that as well.
Yes, and get to my YouTube. I need more subscribers. Go on my YouTube channel and subscribe. Crying out loud, it's crazy.
Hey, you're beating me on subscribers on YouTube.
I don't know. It's embarrassing. You get a kid who puts together Legos and he's got 3 million subscribers. Well, and here we are pouring out our soul with uninteresting material.
And oh my gosh, who was I listening to last night? Oh, it was Tucker Carlson talking about, was it Tucker Carlson? Talking about what everyone is watching. Instead of watching things that will educate them, they're watching, these silly videos on YouTube that will add nothing to their lives. Nothing.
Tucker, he doesn't watch I have a little mantra that I do before I make calls, before I go on a sales call. It goes like this: I lead, not follow. I believe, not doubt. Create, not destroy. I make the news. I don't watch the news. I'm a leader. I'm a force for good. I'm a force for God. I set the standard, defy the odds. I stand up, I take charge, I win. And then I make my calls. But one of them in there is I don't watch the news. I make the news. I don't watch the news. It will kill you. You wind up, resign yourself from being the general manager of the universe. You're not getting paid for it. It's taking up time in your head. You ever find yourself doing that? Solving, Russia. I'm like, I'm trying to navigate traffic, and here I am trying to, I got the answer to fix Russia.
Yeah, I do that. The feedback is incredible. I'm gonna have to figure that out. I've got them on. I try to solve the world problems while I'm laying down trying to sleep. That's when it hits me, Dan.
Oh, really?
So I'm trying to sleep and I'm thinking about all this garbage throughout the day, the news, and because I'm a news junkie and I have to really, really watch myself. Because
what time do you go to sleep?
I usually go to bed around 10:30, 11.
And what time do you fall asleep?
Usually it takes me about a half hour.
Oh, really? So you go to bed at 11? Yeah. So I go to sleep at 9, and I go to sleep at 9, meaning I go to bed. I think it's, I don't know why it's always been like, I'm asleep before I hit the pillow.
I used to be that way.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I went this weekend. I've never done this before. This weekend I went on a men's retreat. We're like in bunks and the whole thing, whatever like that. And I tell you, you're in the bunk room. The first thing they said is, "There's the earplugs." Apparently, everybody snores, and so it was like a whole. So and people got prostate problems. I tell you what, all night long, someone's going to the bathroom. It's crazy. It was crazy. You know what I did for snoring though? Yeah, you got to solve problems. I'm a problem solver, right? I discovered this because my parents were divorced, and when they got divorced, like before the whole thing happened, they went into different bedrooms, before the whole thing happened. So we were in different bedrooms. So like I've kind of associated that with bad stuff. And so I'm snoring in the bed. My wife said, she's very nice, and she says, I'll just go in the other room. Don't worry, you stay here. And I'm like, oh no, like that was like the worst thing you could do. So I did all this research. I sleep at night. I put surgical tape over my mouth.
I've heard about this.
Best thing I ever did. And I sleep better. I think nose breathing is somehow good for you. So
it is, yeah.
This has nothing to do with cold calling, but
well,
but now you got this.
Yeah.
But this is what you do when you're on a call. You think you can have personal relationships, personal conversations with strangers, but you absolutely can. And it's a quick way to turn it around for them to see you as a person and not a cold caller.
Right. And I agree with that. You've got to make it personal. And when I cold call, I'm always trying to find something in common that we might have together, in order to start building the relationship. So back to the sleep, Dan. So I used this app to track my sleep, and I used it so that I could it listens for any kind of snoring or movement or stuff like this. And I was like, I wonder what it's going to pick up while I am sleeping at night, And so the first night I'm listening to it, and then all of a sudden I hear this little teeny tiny like snoring, a high pitched snoring. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, do I have a ghost in the house or something? It was my cat.
Oh, that's awesome.
I have never heard her snore before because I'm dead asleep.
Yeah.
But it was the cat snoring.
What kind of cat do you have?
I have a ragdoll.
Oh, those are just big, mushy, floppy, lay around lap dogs or lapdog cats.
Yeah. Her name's Honey Kitty. Well, our 30 minutes are up, Dan. Okay. And I bet everyone didn't think they were going to hear about our sleep problems.
Well, one other thing I'll just but I feel closer to you. I mean, I know all this. This is what happened. One of the things you can do on a call very quickly, and I do it often. If somebody answers the phone, I'm like, oh, you sound like you're having a good day. Or, I'll compliment them on their tone. And one of the things I do also is like when I'm talking to someone, I'll just say, hey, is it okay if I give you a compliment? By the way, nobody says no to that.
Right.
Nobody says no to that. And then you give them a sincere compliment, and that's the way to end a call. That's the way, like if you set an appointment, that's the way to end a call. And then you go from there, and you just, it speeds up the friendship quotient.
Let me ask you this one last question, Dan. Are you a naturally optimistic person? And were you the little boy that was just, always saw sunshine?
Painfully so, yes. Not only sunshine, but enjoyed the rain.
There you go. Played in the puddles.
Yeah.
Well, if you find a puddle today, Dan, I hope you jump in it.
Yes. Oh, jump in a lake. That's a good way to do it. Well, this was terrific. Thank you so much for having me.
It was great having you. And everyone, I want to encourage you to follow Dan. Go to the sites. I'll put the links below. And remember, you know how I end this. Sales is a journey, not a quick trip around the block. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.